Hi guys, welcome to the channel. I hope you're all doing okay, and I'm really excited to share a new release with you today. It's coming out in February next year, and this watch I'm going to show you now, it is from 960 Watches. And if you're wondering what that dial is all about, well, basically it's from a Hurricane. Now, it's been inspired by one of the gauges, the altitude gauge, if you will, hence the name altitude, and it's from 960 Watches. Ex-military man. He started his own company and very passionate about his watches. But all of that is not really any good if the watches end up not being good. So how good is this lovely watch I'm going to share with you today? Well, I've just used the word lovely, so I've kind of given it away. But does it add up to be a very successful and interesting enough pilot watch? I think it does. So you're going to need to see why. So let's get stuck in with the review. You know what's annoying is recording a load of content and realising your microphone is turned off, or I managed to bash the mute button. So I was anyway, that's all the joys of making videos. Now I've come outside again because I feel like it's a nice space to get good lighting, and it's just lovely to be out of the fresh air and get sunshine for a change. So I'll make the most of it. Let's get on with chatting about this watch. Why is this watch special? And what is special about the Hawker Hurricane, which it's paying tribute to with regards to its dial design? Well, the Hawker Hurricane, that was effectively a sister plane in the Battle of Britain. Is one of its most famous battles it was involved in. And that was, it was a plane that basically was much better at the Spitfire, although a bit slower, at taking enemy fire. So it assisted with the protecting of the Spitfires, which would then come in for the kill. And collectively, with lots of other elements, of course, the Battle of Britain was a huge success. And we were dominant in the skies during World War II. So that is a huge reason why the Hurricane is an equally respected plane to the Spitfire. The Spitfire is one that everyone knows about almost immediately. Anyone who's even not into planes goes, oh, I know about the Spitfire. But the Hurricane is something that should not be forgotten either. It's incredibly important. It's one of those team efforts. Something that I was thinking about is, that is a really clever object, a plane, to take inspiration from. What other planes or other pieces of equipment, or what other things can you take inspiration from to make dials for a watch? I'd like to see more watches that actually pay tribute to different components of these awesome bits of equipment. Something I'm not 100% on is the fact the 960 logo is a little bit weird. I know that's not excellent kind of critique, but I think when it's shrunk down, it looks a bit lost. The little maze. There's a lot of backstory to the design, but I think if you've got to tell your life story as to how you've designed a logo, it could be lost on a lot of people. 960 is cool, that's pretty damn straightforward. It's a military number for Christian, who's the owner of the company, and that's pretty straightforward. Wouldn't have minded the crown being signed, but it's okay, I can live without that. Don't like this stitching. It's almost white, or it looks purpley colour sometimes in light. It looks a bit cheap. I think it needs to be either cream or another colour, or even black, to go with this whole black and white generally theme. The strap is actually good quality. It feels very tough and rugged, but it has an unusual aroma. I can't really explain what it smells of. Slightly plasticky. I think maybe because it's a water resistant leather, it could have had a treatment that makes it have this unusual smell, but it's not gross or anything, it's not unpleasant. And the texture of this leather, is very unusual. It looks like it's pitted all over. And the finishing on this deployant clasp is slightly squiffy. It's just got, it feels a bit cheap around this bit here and this part here. But then this part of it is really nice. The brushed part, that looks quality with the little logo on there. And I think it is good, but I just don't like this. It feels almost like plastic. A slight issue I noticed on this watch was on one of the hands, it looks like on the black bit, it's got a slightly scruffy finish to it. It's not ugly by any means, but it looks like the matte finish has sort of been scuffed or is a bit flaky. I think the rest of the watch is beautifully finished. I can't find any specks or anything under the dial. Really well finished. And although it has a Swiss grade loom, there isn't buckets of it on this watch, so it holds out okay, but I think it could be a bit better. Legibility on this watch is never going to be an issue because of these huge Arabics on it. I want to find another spot. It's getting a little bit gloomy here, so yes, I'm going to have a scramble through the woods. Now, one of the only changes that's going to happen between this and the production model coming out next February is actually going to be the fact it's going to have quick release pins on the strap, and that's about it. And that's a good thing because 960 watches are awesome for providing you with a number of different choices of strap you can put on your watch. He doesn't just give you this and then you buy more. He actually gives you a nice little selection, all with the nice DLC hardware to match the watch. So if you just don't get on with the strap for whatever reason, you're going to have other choices. And even if you don't like any of those, come and see me, I sell straps. The only downside I'd say to flip that round is it's not always a common thing to buy with aftermarket straps, something with black hardware. Ah, there's an ant on me. I do love these Miyota movements. I mean, the one in this one's running really nicely. I put it in 4 different positions to test it and it's running really good. It's probably one of the better ones I've tested for Miyota. Normally they can run a little bit too fast. I've not had many slow ones, but this is running really sweetly. It's well within tolerances. The hand winding is smooth. It's always got that consistent feel to it. It doesn't feel too light, it doesn't feel too heavy. I personally am a fan, and you don't notice any rotor wobble in this one. I think it's clever where he's put the date wheel, because if you look at the instrument cluster that is originally what was on the Hawk Hurricane, it did have an extra counter there at the 6 o'clock. It never had a numeral or anything down there at the bottom. So he's very cleverly put the logo there, and then the only other numeral that is going to be moving about, which is the date, above it. So I think it's a clever positioning. Obviously it's down to personal taste, but I think it's been tastefully done. Another thing I really like about this dial design, again borrowed from that plane, is the seconds hand is tiny and it's really cool. It's got its own miniature little track in the middle, and that's something you don't see a lot. We're always looking at seconds running right out to the outer edge. There's something interesting about having it just as a little one in the middle. It's quite quirky and I do like that. Those of you who don't know what DLC is, diamond-like coating. And what that effectively means is it's better than PVD. It's a treatment in which allows this surface, which is still stainless steel underneath, to be extremely scratch resistant. It's not totally scratch resistant, but a lot better than PVD, and it really keeps this kind of finish for exceptionally longer, as long as it's been well applied and thickly applied, which, feeling like the quality this watch already has, it's going to have had that. So I think this is really good to have a watch as a go anywhere, do anything beta piece, and it won't end up looking like it's been beaten up because it's got sapphire crystal, as you can imagine, and that DLC coating. 100 meters water resistant, again, that's great. That's enough for you to get it in the pool and just enjoy it on holiday. Obviously change the strap out. I love the fact there's a nice Hurricane on the back blended in with a bit of a Union Jack, and the 960 logo is very nice. Don't know how much it's going to cost. It's going to cost between £300 and £400 is my guesstimation. I haven't been told. The diver watch is around the 400 mark, and I think these are in limited numbers, so I think it's a fair price for a limited run watch. The fact you're buying from a brand that's British with some real creative flair, I think it's well worth the money. So in summary, I'm looking forward to February for this watch, because this is the kind of watch that is a bit of me. The reason why I say that is I do like a pilot watch, and I have not seen many like this. You know, I have seen things like Aviate watches, for example. I know some of you may mention that, but you know what? This watch just is unique to me because it's not trying to have a fad or a gimmick. It's just successfully homaging a crucial component to the Hurricane plane, the altitude gauge, and making it work successfully as a watch. Just let me know if you're as equally as excited as me, or am I just on my own on this? I don't think I am. I think there's some good stuff to come. I did like their dive watch, but I think this so far is the best watch I've seen from 960. And I look forward to seeing what else is to come. And there will be more from what I hear. So thanks for watching, guys. If you've enjoyed this video, all the usual stuff, like, thumbs up, subscribe would be amazing. Let's get this channel really big, and then I can get more and more awesome watches to share with you my crazy style. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks again. Bye for now.